What's up? Here is Maria, your coach at BFABU, and I know it has been a minute since I popped in live. Been focusing more on the podcast so I can deliver great content to you, but I'm so excited that I'm here to share this live with you. So, I'm an insulin resistance coach, and I do a lot of work with testing, hormonal basis, and cortisol, insulin resistance, and all this kind of stuff to figure out really what is potentially the root cause of imbalances. So today, and actually just a few minutes ago, here's what I did. I got myself a Libre, which is going to actually track my glucose for the next 14 days. So this is it. And now there is an opportunity for us to do, CGM, which is basically tracking your blood glucose, constantly. And you do not need a prescription from a doctor to do this. There's options available out there. So I'm testing this for 14 days. Now, the other reason I'm very excited about is because I'm testing doing some critical time because I'm also going to be doing in early August two food sensitivity tests, and this is one of them, and this is another one, and it's called KBMO and MRT. So they're similar but different technologies. And again, while I'm doing this, I do this because I like to test everything on me before I actually go and promote with my clients. And food sensitivity is something that is very important for us to identify and remove from the diet, at least for a while, so we can actually restore balance in the body. But what is interesting about my project is I really want to know what some of these foods do to me. And I have, over many years, removed a lot of foods from my kind of, food template. So one of the companies provide a list, right? This is the list. 176 foods that they test. And you see a lot over here highlighted. Well, the highlights are because I actually barely eat these foods anymore. And I'm not saying that all those foods that are highlighted, which are plenty, as you can see over here, okay, are unhealthy. I just don't eat them on a regular basis. Some of these are things that are going to raise my blood sugar. Some of these are potentially creating imbalances in my digestion, and so on, so on. So there's a lot of things, and there are a lot of reasons that I excluded some of these foods. In others, it's just a lot of foods to eat. So it's amazing. Sometimes we think about it, we eat it all. Well, actually, we're very accustomed to eat certain things, and diversity is important. So in June, I actually started this project, and I start buying and consuming as much of these foods as possible. And I'm giving myself about 5 weeks of consuming these foods before I do these two tests. And I'm gonna do them and send the tests on the same day, same kind of time collection to see what the results are. And I'll be speaking more about these experiments in my podcast. And, which is BFABU Made Simple. If you haven't listened to it, go ahead and listen. I provide content, a couple times a week. And I keep them short, on average about 20 minutes or so. Sometimes a little longer. But I speak about all things related to health and wellness. So I am very excited to keep this guy over here for the next 2 weeks while I'm still eating some of these foods. Because, if the body is reacting negatively to the foods, our blood sugar is going to react to. So we sometimes don't kind of correlate those things, right? But the body is stressed out trying to fight something, is normally create a reaction, a stressor, and that can raise the blood sugar as well. And certain foods like, I'm eating apricots, I'm eating more dates and things like that, generally, they are going to increase my blood sugar. And there's a few other things. I am actually eating gluten a couple times a week, so the test can pick up if I'm sensitive, and I can tell you the chances that I'm not sensitive are very small, because once I start adding back, I could feel on my digestive system. And so it's all part of a fun game, and I find this very exciting. I love to be my own guinea pig, and I had done food sensitivity, the LCAT many years ago, but these two tests are much more advanced, and I'm excited to learn. So I'm excited to kind of, although, I'm putting foods back that normally I don't eat it, that I know that are impacting my body in a negative way. Well, I'm not going to die if I consume this for 4 to 6 weeks. It's okay. All right. Now, if I were to be extremely sensitive, or allergic, that would be a totally different story, right? I wouldn't be doing this if I had celiac disease. And if you have celiac disease, you will feel immediately when we put anything with gluten. I can still tolerate gluten and dairy and things like that, but does my body agree with them? I don't think so, but I am actually eating some cheese again, especially goat and sheep, because I like those. And maybe if I'm not sensitive to them, I will continue in the small amounts going forward. So we'll see. And so today, anyway, I just wanted to share my excitement. Hey, if you want to learn more about how to get one of these guys, the free Libri and things like that, and what is the purpose of a CGM, which is constant glucose meter, there is amazing benefits to understanding what your glucose is doing throughout the day. I know I do this kind of teachings in my programs as well, especially if a person has prediabetes, insulin resistance, or the early years in diabetes, because we learn so much about the body, and we can be so empowered by what we can do. So first things is know where you stand today. That's why I like testing, and that's why I like to keep track of those things. So once we know where we are, then we can actually evaluate and see how we improve. And that's one of the reasons that I'm doing all this. It is okay to perform as a coach, right? It's okay to perform activities and actually give folks guidelines how to do things, but it's much more interesting and validating when coaches do for themselves. So, hey, nobody's perfect. Everybody's has healing opportunities, as I call. So do I. And recently I'm doing actually other testing because of a certification that I'm looking forward to get this, probably early fall, the latest, is called FDN, adding that to my repertoire, because they do a lot of testing from hormonal perspective and food sensitivity and gut, but part of the protocol is to have these tests as part of the intake of any client, and I see the validity of it. So I'm doing these tests, as well. And some of these tests I have done it, but others are kind of, more exclusive to this company that made agreements with these laboratories. So I'm testing as well. So yes, I've done a Dutch test, Dutch Plus, if you understand what it is. It's a kind of very complex hormonal testing that talks about cortisol, talks about testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and so on, and many metabolites. It's a very complex testing. Then I did just recently one that is a saliva test as well, but it's less complex, less expensive as well, and again goes into cortisol and the steroid hormones. I will be doing, I just submitted today actually, one of the digestion testing. There's another couple ones that will do, others I've done it. Anyway, this kind of helps me to understand the process as well that, that it takes, and helps me to guide my clients in a better way. I can recognize, I can instruct them better. And again, like I said, there is always things for me to discover about my body. And some of the test results that I've got, there is definitely healing opportunities for me to work on as well. So this is part of life. This is part of coaching. This is part of being interactive and, being part of the process. So anyway, any questions you have about all this stuff, that is awesome, let me know, reach out, and stay tuned, especially on my podcast. And if you receive my newsletters, of these updates that I'll be giving related to all this fun testing that I've been doing, okay? And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day and you're doing well. And if there is anything that I can assist you regarding to your health and wellness and fitness, let me know. Reach out at bfabbu.com. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.